When hope is gone, undo this lock and send me forth on a moonlit walk. Release restraint level 0. Hey kids, wanna see a dead body?
Hey guys, this is the Void of the Ravenclaw. Welcome back to another fanfiction story. If you like this type of content, smash the like button and subscribe for future videos and updates that I do post on my community tab frequently. This is The Son of Brainiac, part 13. Now this is my second attempt at this. Earlier during last week, I did record this, but it didn't turn out the way I wanted to. There were too many grammar mistakes in my script. I needed to go over check my script to see what spelling errors I made. That's why it took so long for me to get this out, and I was a bit irritated at it. I had to do this a second time, so I was basically procrastinating on my part. Now, let's continue where we last left off in our story. Mirko threw out a kick, making direct contact on Deku, making the biological android go skidding backwards with a direct kick by the bunny hero. Mirko did not wait long. She immediately rushed towards Deku. While Deku was still skidding backwards, Mirko threw out another kick. Deku simply caught her foot in mid-slide and slammed a kick of his own, making Mirko go skidding backwards right into a building. By that simple kick she just received from Deku, Mirko crashed into a building. Then she immediately leaped out of the window and charged at Deku. As Mirko and Deku basically charged towards each other. When they got into striking range with each other, they threw out a kick. When their kick collided with each other, a sonic boom was created by their legs crossing with each other, as all the nearby windows of the buildings immediately shatter as glass begins to fall onto the street, as all the nearby cars in the area go flying into different buildings. Not bad. You're pretty powerful. Got pretty powerful kicks, Deku. So many villains and heroes only rely on their superior strength, not bothering to learn fighting techniques and styles. And you clearly know several fighting styles. I might be strong, but I'm no musclehead in Mirko. After all, I'm a scientist at heart. Wait, you're a scientist? As they both lowered their legs to the ground at the same time. Of course I am. I do have a brain and I use it in everything I do. There's always a purpose to my madness. Everything I've done until this point, I've done for my own reasons and ambitions. But that's neither here or there. Hero. Mirko finally realized the implication that Deku posed as a villain that actually has a brain. She could tell he's clearly intelligent, not surprising considering he had those killing machines with him during the sports festival. She couldn't help but laugh. Of course I get involved with a villain. Only this villain named Deku has insane super strength. He's clearly intelligent and well-trained. Honestly, Deku, you're any hero's worst nightmare. Strong, intelligent, and it's clearly evident you're skilled. I was hoping I would come across a villain like you one of these days. Very well, hero. Show me what you got. I am quite curious on how much power of my strength I'm going to have to use to defeat you. You're quite cocky, Deku. It's not cockiness, Mirka. I'm only stating the facts. You will lose. But the only question is, how much of my strength will I'm going to have to use to defeat you? And how injured you're going to be at the end of it? Let's see how you handle 5% of my overall power. There's a slight pulse of energy, like a heartbeat, that was unnoticed by the human eye. Deku bolted towards the bunny hero. Mirko had no problem keeping up with Deku's speed. The only issue Mirko could tell that Deku is clearly stronger and faster compared to what he was prior. From the simple attack she just blocked, it was a miracle that her bones didn't break. If it wasn't because of her training and conditioning her body, that simple attack would have broken her bones, broken her arm instantly when she blocked his strike. Impressive. My strength is not enough. As they continue to exchange blows with each other, both hero and villain begin to block each other's attack. 5% is clearly not strong enough. How about 15? Deku released 15 of his overall power, as there was a green pulse of energy emanate from Deku's body that's clearly visible by everyone in the area. Deku got a whole lot faster and stronger at the same time. The only evidence that were shown that he released more of his power was the slight pulse of green energy producing from Deku's body, like a heartbeat, like a bump bump, bump bump, basically sound, but more electronic. More electronic and energy noises, basically, what I'm trying to get at. Deku started to make after images of himself while attacking Mirko. Deku broke through the pro hero's guard and landed a solid hit across her face. Deku wasn't done and threw out a kick that hit Mirko in the stomach, making the pro hero go flying into a building. Deku just waited for the hero to re-emerge, and he didn't have to wait long. Mirko came out of the building with a few cuts scattered about her body, but she was mostly unharmed. But her hero costume wasn't so fortunate. There was rips and tears scattered all over her hero suit. Mirko charged forward, throwing a combination of punches and kicks, making Deku block every punch and kick that came his way. Mirko managed to get through Deku's guard by slamming her elbow into his face, giving the pro hero a bigger opportunity to land more devastating attacks. She instantly began to land a spin kick that sent Deku into a nearby car that was bent when Deku made contact with the hard metal surface of the vehicle. Deku unlodged himself from the car as black bone began to cover around his knuckles. Deku released 20% of his overall power, as there was a green pulse of energy that shot out of Deku's body, much like the last time. In a pulse, like a heartbeat. Before Deku could charge forward, he had to dodge a flaming fist. Deku noticed his attacker was Endeavor. Endeavor himself, alongside with his progeny, Shoto Todoroki. Well, isn't it second place? Endeavor did not reply. He just immediately threw out another flaming fist towards Deku. Deku stopped Endeavor's flaming fist with only one finger. All Endeavor's fire that's covering his fist was blown away instantly, making Endeavor's eyes widen. Deku slowly extended his finger towards Endeavor's head and flicked Endeavor in the forehead. Suddenly, a wind gust was created when he flicked Endeavor with his finger. Then a second later, Endeavor was sent flying backwards into several buildings, fast and hard. Deku walked towards Todoroki, making Todoroki get in a fighting stance. Deku could tell the hero in training was nervous and on edge. Deku calmly stopped before he walked past Todoroki and placed his hand on the hero in training's shoulder. You're far too weak. Stay in your lane, little hero. I suggest you concentrate on making sure all of the locals don't get in the way. After all, you heroes do tend to like saving innocent lives. I have some unfinished business with the very angry lady over there. As Deku noticed, Mirko was charging forward, picking up speed fast. Deku calmly walked past Todoroki and continued to walk towards the charging bunny hero, making Todoroki clench his fists and grind his teeth because he knows the villain's right. He's far too weak to even pose a challenge or even a threat to Deku. After all, he could easily take on the number one hero and his father at the same time. He hates to admit it, but he's not strong enough. For the hero and villain could clash once again. They both had to dodge a humongous burst of fire flying towards them. Mirko and Deku hopped backwards and slid to a stop once they were no longer in danger of the flame. Of course, Deku was never in danger in the first place. The fire would not do anything to him, but he just moved by instinct. Out of my way, woman. I'm taking down this bastard. Bastard, you almost hit me. Like hell you are. He's my prey. Mirko got extremely close to Endeavor, staring daggers at him as her glare intensified. Endeavor knows better to get in the way of a very angry female. He sucked up his pride and spoke. How about a compromise? We take him out together. Both get what we want by taking down this villain and stopping this madness. What do you say, Mirko? Temporary team up? Fine, I don't like the idea, but it's not like we have much choice in the matter. Very well, I will team up with you temporarily. You bastard. Mirko is still a bit upset by the second ranking hero, by his flame almost hitting her. She's a bit irritated by that. But she has more pressing issues to deal with. I take it you're done with your little team meeting. Sorry about that, Deku, but we're all done. I'll definitely need to pay you back for flicking me in the forehead into several buildings. Interesting, a team up to fight a dastardly villain. Very well, I'm more than capable of filling that role for you heroes. Of course, as a dastardly villain, such as I. Let's make things interesting, shall we? I'm currently at 20% of my overall power. If you manage to impress me, I will allow you to experience my power at 30%. But until then, I will only fight you two only using my right arm, as Deku put his left arm in his pocket, as he gestured with his right hand, with his fingers, to bring it. Deku blew out 2 big green fireballs out of his mouth and shot them at the 2 pro heroes. Deku appeared right in front of Endeavor when he dodged out of the way of the huge green fireball and kicked the pro hero in the stomach. Then Deku performed a spinning backflip as Mirko hit nothing but air when her fist hit the ground where Deku was prior. The ground made spiderweb cracks. Deku was in mid-spin in midair. Deku did a spin kick, sending Mirko flying into another building. Deku flash step, noticing Endeavor is getting to his feet. He appeared right in front of him and landed a uppercut under Endeavor's chin as Deku kicked the pro hero in the stomach as Endeavor was sent flying further away into another building. Deku spun around to catch Mirko's fist in the palm of his hand. Nice try, hero. Can't blame a girl for trying when your back was turned. Pretty ballsy of you to fight both of us only using your right hand. What can I say? I like to make things challenging. It's far more interesting this way. Mirko thrusted out a punch, only for Deku to block it with his knee. Mirko threw out a combination after combination of punching, strikes, and kicks. Every time she tried to attempt to make a solid hit at Deku, Deku either managed to block or dodge out of the way, only using his right arm, while his other left arm is still in his pocket, while he was fighting them the entire time. It kind of annoyed her that he's holding back. It definitely hurt her pride as a hero and as a fighter. She just doesn't know how much he's holding back. Mirko threw out her most powerful kick as her eyes widened, seeing her kick being caught by his right hand. It made Deku skid backwards a few inches, but he immediately stopped his momentum after a few seconds. Very impressive. How? That was my most powerful move. It's a finishing move for a reason. Deku disappeared, then he reappeared, landing an uppercut kick under Mirko's chin, making her slightly airborne. Deku jumped up in the middle of the air and landed a powerful, vicious spin kick that sent the pro hero through several buildings yet again. Deku landed and closed his eyes, beginning to sense all around him, as he sensed the pro heroes were all knocked out. Such a pity. I was hoping to release at least 30% of my power. Before Todoroki could do anything else, Deku appeared right behind him and karate chopped him in the back of the neck, knocking him out instantly. I suppose I'm done enough already. I have already eliminated Stain and fought 2 pro heroes, adding more to my reputation alongside with the reputation of the league. I believe I've done a good job here. My job is clearly done. Before Deku was immediately shot by a wave of magic that sent Deku flying into several buildings. Deku finally stopped crashing into buildings as he was lodged into a very thick stone wall. As a small figure came walking through the hole of the building he made by flying through it by that magic attack he just received, a 16-year-old blonde girl came walking through the hole of the building. Most impressive. You managed to be mostly unharmed. I figured that type of power would have at least severely injured you, but it seems you have higher resistance than any other Kryptonian till this point against magic. No matter how impressive your resistance is, you're still clearly vulnerable to magic attacks. Deku delodged himself from the wall. Who the hell are you supposed to be? Child gave Deku a smirk. Allow me to introduce myself. I am Child, a Lord of Chaos, as she did a curtsy at your service. Child is using a temporary anchor in the form of a magical bracelet around her wrist, allowing Child to have a physical form in this realm. It's a powerful artifact, but it's no replacement for a full-fledged anchor or familiar. But she's not here on this planet for work. She's only here to ensure she gets her powerful future familiar. Deku has been quite the topic with the Lords of Chaos. Child waved her hand once as balls of magical energy shot out towards Deku. Deku managed to dodge almost all of them. Unfortunately, one of the magical energy balls flew past his guard and made a direct hit into his chest, making Deku go flying backwards as he began to skid out of the building, going through the hole in the wall that he made prior when he originally was attacked by Child. As Child calmly walked out of the hole of the wall with a smirk on her face the entire time, Child stopped in front of Deku. Deku threw out a powerful fist, only using 20% of his overall power, only to see Child stop his fist with one finger. You're probably wondering why I can stop your fist with only one of my delicate fingers. It's quite simple. I can use magic in more than one way. That's why that witch boy is a second-rate Lord of Chaos. He's clearly not at my level. The fool doesn't have the imagination that I have, so he's limited on what he can do, but unfortunately for you, I have no such limitations. She slammed a magical-infused punch into Deku, sending Deku skidding backwards, making a trail of destruction. The street gets tore up by Deku's momentum, dragging across the street with his feet from the force of that attack. Deku proceeded to cough up some blood from his mouth. When he finally stopped his momentum from the attack he just received, Deku immediately released 30% of his overall power as a pulse of energy was shot out of his body. As sparks of electricity could be seen, green sparks of electricity began to produce from his body periodically, signifying he has unsealed 30% of his overall power. The effects to his physical strength, alongside his speed, was clearly multiplied several times. Deku shot out several green fireballs in rapid succession at Child. Child simply infused magic in her hand and slapped the fireballs away into the distance, while she's walking calmly towards Deku, while still slapping his attacks out of the way, like there were nothing. Deku charged forward, swinging a right hook, only to see Child disappear, then teleported away. When she reappeared right behind him and placed a hand onto his back. As Deku was sent flying forward, just by Child releasing a pressure of her magic that she released in the palm of her hand, making Deku go flying through several cars as the cars immediately explode as he went right through them. Child teleported away, then reappeared right behind Deku and used her magic like telekinesis as Deku was lifted off the ground and slammed into the ground hard as she threw him into a nearby building. Deku instantly recovered and charged forward once again, only for the same thing to happen to him, as she repeatedly to slam him into the ground, as spiderwebs begin to crack from underneath him, only by Child using her magic to throw him like a rag doll. Deku opened a digital portal underneath him and portaled away, then he reappeared once again a little bit away from the overpowered Lord of Chaos. Well, crap. This is getting dangerous. Child appeared right behind him as they're back to back. You have no idea how right you are, Brainiac Zero. Not many people know that title. You think that poor excuse for Lord of Chaos, Clarion, was only Lord of Chaos that known of your very existence. I'm the only Lord of Chaos that known your very existence since the very beginning. When I noticed Brainiac was gathering genetic code from all across the universe, from the galaxy, from very powerful entities across the wide universe, I found it very suspicious. I never trusted that walking computer. So I kept an eye on you. So I kept an eye on him, his actions. By doing so, I also had a close eye on you as well. And what you're planning to do will shake the very universe to its core. And I'm very interested in how things will play out. But first, I need to finish what I started. Child bound Deku with magical chains, constricting him. Don't bother struggling. You won't be able to overpower my magic chains. My magic is far too potent and powerful to be overpowered by your current level. And I highly doubt your body can withstand another release of your sealed off energy. Gives you impressive power and speed boost. If I had to take a guess, if I had to take an educational guess, Deku-kun, I'm guessing 30% is the highest amount of power you currently can withstand with your current body. So, in layman's terms, you're at your max. To have so much power but unable to utilize it correctly, we're going to have to fix that, dear. Hell are you even talking about? It's quite simple, Deku-kun. Me and you are going to be working very closely with each other for eternity. After all, that was the main reason why you even exist. I took part in your creation, after all, when the opportunity presented itself to gain a very powerful, capable familiar to be bonded to me. I couldn't pass up the chance. No one will be able to stop me with you by my side. And you've only begun to scratch the surface of your potential and power. Who said I wanted to be your anchor? Silly boy. You don't have a choice. You've always been mine. It was one of the conditions I set in place. Without my assistance, your creation wouldn't be possible at your current power level. And of course, he had no choice to agree. I can be very persuasive when I want to be, Deku-kun. So I'm only here to retrieve what's mine. Child immediately began to the preparations for the ceremony to make Deku into her familiar anchor. The first thing Child did was activate a magical barrier over herself and Deku, so they can't be spied upon or interrupted. Then she immediately destroyed all of the small brainiac bots in the sky inside the barrier. They weren't recording, but she wanted them gone, so she destroyed them. Normally, making a life form like a house cat or a small animal into an anchor normally doesn't take much effort, but making an anchor out of a biological android, it's going to take a little more effort, considering it's never been done before, and considering how powerful Deku is, what he's capable of, and once he unlocks his true potential. The second thing that Child did was raise Deku above the air as he begins to hover above the ground, as a purple and black magical circle appeared underneath him. As black and purple runes appeared all over Deku's skin, Child started to chant in a very old language that Deku is unfamiliar with. Most people would be freaking out, but Deku functions differently than normal people. On one side of things, he doesn't want to be some anchor to... Give me a second, guys. Sorry about that, guys. My cat was making it difficult to record this, so let's try this again. Most people would be freaking out, but Deku functions differently than normal people. On one side of things, he doesn't want to be some sort of anchor to be bound to some crazy blonde, but on the other side of things, he finds the process to be interesting and fascinating. That's why he hasn't resisted till this point. He knows he could break out of these magical chains that's binding him. Unfortunately, it would take all of his strength to do so, and he would be exhausted to the point where he would be helpless. So he would rather play along to see if he can benefit in some way. He's nowhere near strong enough to challenge a Lord of Chaos. Just by that simple display, Child totally outclassed him in their little altercation they just had. Child's index finger began to glow as on her right hand. She carefully and slowly gave Deku her mark, symbolizing Deku is her anchor, her familiar, her property. And Deku, pretty much her humanoid familiar. Once the mark was finally completed, it started to glow a bright purple and black. As there was a bright purple and black light that engulfed the both of them. Once the ritual was complete, and the bright black and purple light receded, begins to fade away, Deku couldn't feel any different at first, as the magical chains slowly disappear and erode into nothingness. Then a new sense overpowered his senses for the first time in his short existence. Deku can sense magic from Child and the natural magic coming from nature on this planet that hasn't been tapped into. I see you notice you have the ability to detect magic. That's the proof of your familiar status with me. I have no doubt you're quite angry and you would like to kill me, but that will no longer be possible. As my familiar, you're unable to harm me in any shape or form. Let's test that little theory of yours. As Deku shot out a green heat vision at Child, only to see his heat vision just circle around her harmlessly and flies away. Fascinating. I truly was trying to kill you. Worry not, I have no interest in engaging in a battle to the death with a Lord of Chaos, even if I could somehow manage to defeat a Lord of Chaos. I don't need a hassle that will only attract more of your kind, and I already have enough on my plate. I might be your familiar. I would advise you not to interfere in my plans. You might be my mistress. For now. But I'll somehow, some way, find a way to kill you if you get in my way. Oh heavens, dear. I wouldn't dream of it. As Child linked her arms with Deku's. I'll be sticking by your side until I have to go back and continue my duties as a Lord of Chaos. But for now, I'm officially on my vacation. And what better way to spend on my vacation is getting to know my new powerful familiar. I can tell you're still mad. I'm still quite upset, but I'll get over it. There's nothing I can do about it anyways. I'll just have to benefit from this situation somehow. If it's any consolation, the other Lord of Chaos will not be getting your business. You're my familiar now, my anchor to this realm. And after all, the Lord of Chaos have to follow their own rules. To keep the Lord of Order off our tail. I'll explain them at a later date. For now, we should probably vacate the area. I suppose you're right, Child, was it? That's the name I've been going by. Deku-kun. Deku opened a digital portal to his laboratory, with the blonde Lord of Chaos still holding onto his arm with hers. Child let go to begin to look around. When they finally arrived, she was instantly engulfed in all the very strange, advanced, high-tech technology. Surprising Dobby. With the new arrival. Who's the blonde boss? We already have one of those already. Long story, I'll fill you in later. Well, sir, the League are already planning the next step. Apparently there's going to be some sort of training camp for the brats in a few weeks. Deku gave Davi a nod in acknowledgement, while Child made her way back to her new familiar, interrupting their conversation. Deku, are you some sort of, what did they call them? As she snapped her fingers, scientists. Something like that, Child. I would love to know more. You're being oddly friendly. You're my familiar now, regardless if you're humanoid or not. You're mine, and I take care of my things. I believe a tour is in order of your marvelous facility. Very well, follow me. Child linked her arms with Deku once again as they walked through the laboratory, giving the Lord of Chaos a tour around the complex. And that's where we're going to stop it. Hope you guys have a good night day. Judge my time, so I'll catch you in the next video.